So, Paul Anastasio here, and we're doing some Western Swing workshop videos. I can get you PDF files and finale files for the basic melodies to about the dozen tunes we're working on here. You'll see my email. You can email me, and if you want to go to makemusic.com, Finale's parent company, you can download Finale Notepad. That allows me to send you a Finale file and you can hear the notes, albeit played by sampled instruments, and you can hear what's going on here. Anyway, this is a real simple tune, and real good tune from Floyd Tillman. And one thing I'm going to demonstrate on this is what's called iteration. Iteration is just the repeating of melody notes. So the melody goes. Instead of just playing those quarter notes, I'm going to iterate. And what you'll hear, first I'll play the melody just dead straight. And the second chorus, I'll use a little bit of that iteration. What happens is if I go, what I'm doing, I'm sneaking in that offbeat Joe Venuti type bowing that we've discussed in some of the other videos. What I'm doing is I'm making a quarter note into 2 8th notes, and the second of those 2 8th notes is slurred into the following beat. As I discussed in earlier videos, when I practice an arpeggiated chord or a scale, I will often repeat each melody note and slur. So a G chord is... I do that all the time because I'm trying to get it just as smooth as glass. Joe Venuti had that so smooth, and it just really drove his playing. The other jazz violinists who came along later, like Stefan Grappelli and Stuff Smith and Sven Asmussen, all picked up on that bowing. And it's really nothing new. It's like humoresque. Nothing new under the sun. Okay, well, we're going to have my compatriot Albany, who was kind enough to record rhythm tracks. She'll back me up from beyond the ether.
Oh, God. All right. This is It Makes No Difference Now in the key of G. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm going to iterate. I'm going to make some music. So it's a simple tune. It's 3 chords, as they say in Nashville, 3 chords and the truth. Whether it's the truth or not is debatable, perhaps. But I actually had a chance to back up Floyd Tillman. I was working in Asleep at the Wheel, and we were out at Willie Nelson's studio recording a CD. And Willie had built a little nightclub just for his own friends. It was not a for-profit thing. It was a little club so that they could sit around and have a drink and play music. And we came into the Sleep at the Wheel station. Hey, Floyd Tillman's down at so-and-so. And we all trucked down there, and it was it was a fiasco because nobody knew the chords. Floyd, this tune is simple, but a lot of the tunes that Floyd wrote have very sophisticated, almost jazzy chords in there, and I'm embarrassed for myself and everybody else in the band. But I did get to say I got to play with Floyd Tillman. So you see what I did with that iteration, and you probably also heard in that second chorus that it started to get monotonous. I mean, a little bit goes a long way. But what I'll often do when I develop a technique like that, this is the iteration mixed with the Giovanni offbeat bowing, and I might, in the practice room, overdo it, use almost nothing but iteration and Venuti bowing on the whole tune. So that's too much, but if you do it just a little bit, it works out pretty well because it just adds. You'll hear that a lot of times in traditional jazz recordings. Often the trombonist what it does, it allows you to put in a swing eighths feel. If you notice when I'm playing this, I'm not playing it dead even. I'm not playing. A lot of the jazz textbooks talk about swing eighths as if the first one was 2/3 of a beat and the second note of a pair of 8 notes starting on the beat is 1/3. In other words, like 1 and 2 and 3 and at a slow tempo, that's really what happens. That's really how the timing works. It's really like 1, 2, 3, or a triplet. You can do a triplet with the first two tied together. But the jazz texts generally go no farther than that. What happens is as the tempo picks up, the lope, this lope, as the tempo picks up, the best way I know to put it is the lope streamlines out. You can imagine that lope, and those of you who've been to my Weiser workshops or Ashokan camps have probably heard me say this, but imagine you have a clay model of a car with big, huge tail fins in a wind tunnel. Very soft clay that can be blown away by the wind. At the slow speed, the gentle breeze goes over those tail fins. The tail fins being the but as the speed picks up of the wind in the wind tunnel, what happens is that those exaggerated tail fins, or in the case of the music, the lope, streamlines out. And pretty soon you've got an aerodynamic car, more like a Prius or some of the modern cars where aerodynamics has taken. You wouldn't see a Prius with tail fins. It would play hell with your gas mileage. So, but as the tempo picks up, or the wind in the wind tunnel picks up, the exaggerated tail fins or the exaggerated swing eighths, triplet feel, streamlines out. So by the time you get it's really not 2/3 and 1/3. It's almost exactly like straight 8 notes. And it's tricky. And all the jazz books are writing. They say, well, you can't really write it down accurately. You have to hear it and learn a lot from that. I learned how to swing from Count Basie's orchestra. Luckily, I got to see them 7 or 8 times. But the old recordings, late 30s, early 40s Basie, I challenge anyone to find a band that swings harder than that. That's how I learned to swing. And you realize that as the tempo picks up, you no longer have that kind of loping thing. The lope streamlines out. And as violinists, one thing we can do is we can take that bowing and it gives it a swing feel. Well, it isn't straight eighths, and it isn't that either. It's in between. Sometimes it's kind of almost like 3-2, the first note to the second. And you could run yourself nuts trying to figure it out, trying to write it down. At one point I wrote down a beat divided into hundredths and tied the first 56 together and etc. It's a long story. But anyway, be aware of that swingy feel, and if you have if you can put some eighth notes in, whether through iteration or just a stream of notes, like as in Don't Let the Deal Go Down, you can use that bowing, and then it allows you to keep a swing feel up to a faster tempo. See you next video.